Today we're going to talk about wilderness survival skills and preparedness. I really enjoy the indigenous and ancestral skills. It might come from my Native American blood. I remember talking with my grandma who had some Umatilla and Walla Walla Native American Indian in her. And that just seems to come alive with me when I'm outdoors. A lot of preppers lack in what wilderness survival skills can teach us. So let me just share with you briefly about that. First of all, if you're trained in wilderness survival skills, you're trained to think creatively. There's a saying that I learned years and years ago in a wilderness therapy program that I was a counselor in: adapt, improvise, and overcome. A lot of times we'll have an idea in our mind, the direction we want to go, and then there's a roadblock. Something stops us. And when that happens, so many people just say, okay, I can't go any further. They just sit down and they stop. And what this mindset of keep going, and if you can't accomplish a goal one way, figure out another way to do it. In wilderness in wilderness survival skills, that's what happens. I go to a number of primitive gatherings, primitive skills gatherings each year. Rabbit stick is probably the granddaddy of them all. That was one of the first, or the first one, to start years and years ago up in Idaho, Larry Dean Olson. Just in a few weeks, I'm going to be going to a new one, brand new, first year Elkhorn gathering, primitive skills gathering down in Boulder, Utah. Boulder is also the home of Boulder Outdoor Survival School, BOSS. I've had the privilege of knowing the individual who started BOSS, and then the next owner. And in fact, Dave Westcott is the owner, or the proprietor of Rabbit Stick, the gathering, Rabbit Stick, but he owned BOSS for a while. Cody Lundeen is almost always at Rabbit Stick. There are a number of participants, sometimes 6 or 8 at a time in any given year at Rabbit Stick, who were participants on the Alone Show. And it's just fascinating to sit at their feet and to not only hear their stories and learn from them, but also to go to the same classes where they learned from the other experts there in wilderness survival skills. And primitive living skills. There's a number of those around the nation. I go to the ones close to home. So Rabbit Stick, there's a White Rock gathering in Oregon that just happened for the first time this last year. There's Between the Rivers up in Washington, run by Patrick Farnaman. Great experience there. And then this one down in Boulder that I'll be going to, Elkhorn. Fire to Fire is in Duchesne, Utah. Very family friendly. Some of the foremost experts in wilderness survival are on hand to teach classes. And not just teach, but to share their experiences and the stories. The mindset that comes from that is so crucial. Wilderness survival skills is something that many preppers lack in. How many of us really even know how to start a fire? I mean, we know what a match is, right? Or a lighter. But you have to start out with the tinder and then the kindling, and then you work your way up. And so I would challenge you, this is my challenge for this section, is to go out in a safe place and put together a fire and then light it, and make sure that you know how to do that. And not just you, but teach somebody else. If you have children or grandchildren, do that as well. I also want to mention online trainings. I do some Udemy prepper courses and Udemy primitive skills courses. I know that Dave Canterbury does some of those as well. And there are a number of other people who do online training courses. And you can go on YouTube and see many of those as well. So yeah, thanks for watching this. I'm trying to address some of the areas where preppers lack knowledge and experience in, where we really ought not to, where it's really important and crucial. Wilderness survival skills is one of those areas.